Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa D'Amico, curator of Shine the Light Virtual Art Exhibit, and I have the pleasure of speaking with Robert Luttrell about his wonderful piece, Hand-Eye Coordination. Hi, Robert. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you're doing these interviews. I know it's a lot of time and energy to do it, so I appreciate it.
Listen, I can't tell you how much I enjoy this, and I know I'm going to love talking to you because I have been a fan of your work since the first time that I saw it, when you first submitted years ago.
Yes.
And now for me, hand-eye coordination is a little bit different than the other pieces of yours that I've seen.
Because, well, it's really a study. I mean, anything small is really a study. So therefore, that's a study for a glass piece. I work in glass. I don't work in resin. That's a resin piece, a multi-layered resin piece.
Really?
So it's three-dimensional, yes. It's three-dimensional. You can't see that. It's three-dimensional. It's about 1 inch to 2 inch thick with all the different images at different levels. So as you move around it, you can see it. It's everything I create has a different view depending upon your angle. Okay. So right now I'm working mostly in glass and in photography and in the combination of the two. So I'm working a lot in silk screen, a lot of glass. So that's really just a study. So
that's some study.
You know, well, you have to do these things. So that's just something I do. I have an attic full of that stuff. So you do a study and then you learn what you have to do, have to learn from it and then move forward. And glass is a little more difficult. So
why do you say that?
Well, glass, you really have to know your stuff. Glass takes years to learn.
The glass process, you do it yourself?
Yes, I mean, yeah, I do it with a kiln and everything else. Yes, with bullseye glass. Yes, yes. So, so I'm teaching myself. I've always wanted to do glass, and so I'm teaching myself more and more. And there's a lot to learn. My background is film, so I had a film company. Yeah. So, and my background is special effects in film. So that's my background. But I'm retired now, so I've gone back into my desire to do art, which I've always done, even while I had my film company. So I come up with ideas, and all the ideas are three-dimensional. So I'll say 2/3 are stereoscopic, and the other third are multi-dimensional according to how you look at it. So I'll make boxes with up to 10 layers, and then you see through it, and how they interconnect will create different imagery. Okay,
Robert, I think it's obvious. Your pieces, look, they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. They are like just an exciting ride for the eye. And don't get me wrong, I love a virtual exhibit, and I've had to do it because of COVID. But to see your work in person takes it to such a different level. And now that I know your background, which I didn't know before, it makes
no special effects. Yes.
Yes, it makes sense on this journey. Robert, listen, I need to see your stuff in person. I hope you're doing an exhibit very soon because I need to see it.
And it's going to close down, and I haven't. You know, I've been working a lot, and you know, you have to. When I come out, I have to, you know, come out correctly. So, you know, because I've part of my career was working with artists and with galleries. So artists would come to me and galleries would come to me to help artists that they're representing to do their art. So I helped along a lot of people, usually technical. I mean, I'm not sitting there creating the art, but sometimes I am creating the art for other artists. Other times it's just technical because I have technical expertise in video and film. So I can do video projections, film projections. So I would be working with different artists, and I've done that for the last 40 years.
How long have you been creating your own fine art?
Over 50 years.
You have?
Well, there are times when I'm not. I mean, what are you calling fine art? That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, that's a discussion that's been debated over the ages. But I think you know what I mean. Work creations that you have completed that you would put, let's say, in a gallery or in any
Well,
kind
listen,
of exhibition format?
for 5 years, all I did was rock videos, and I would consider every one of those. But I only did hardcore people, like
Oh,
Lou
of
Reed
course.
and people like that. Yeah. So I would only do things that I could do myself. So those are mine. I mean, a record company did not tell me what to do, otherwise I wouldn't do it. So I'd work with the artist and we'd create the videos. So those I considered, but there were years where I was working so hard on features for other people that
Right.
I didn't have time to do what I did. But I used to make a lot of experimental films back in the 70s
Wow.
that showed all over the world. So, but I had to, I had to make a living. So I had a special effects company.
I'm curious to go back to what you said in the beginning, that this piece is a study.
Right.
What's the next step? So you do the study. Essentially, when someone tells me they're working on a study, it's almost like what I would consider like what I would call a maquette. It's kind of like a model for the larger piece.
Yes.
So this is in resin. Where do you go from?
Well, you go to glass. I mean, it's just really a study in sort of a subtle dimension. So that's only like a thick 1 inch or 2 inch thick. The glass I'm going to make, it'll be 2 to 3 inches thick and will be bigger.
When you do the different layers of resin,
yes,
for this piece, are you painting on top of each, or are you putting paper? Like, what is the process of layering?
It's everything. So it's painting and it's photography, and I work in 3D modeling programs. So I can go to a program, make 3D model, because I used to do 3D modeling also as part of my special effects career. So I'll create 3D models, photograph them, and then slice them in different dimensions. So you layer them one on top of the other. So you can see the dimensions in the balls. And that's kind of hard to do. Some people really perfected it. So it's half paint and half transparencies that I can make invisible by the way the resin works.
Gosh.
And envelops it so you don't see that it's a photograph. And it's small. It's basically a practice run because all this stuff is kind of expensive.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I can see the quality of your work is exceptional.
Yeah. So everything small is a study, of how to do it. A lot of stuff I'm doing now is stereoscopic lenticular work. I don't know if you know what lenticular work is. That's you move around that you'll see different images, and dimensions in space. So yeah, so I do that here at the studio.
Well, Robert, you fascinate me, and I'm sure everyone listening is fascinated and will go to InsideSmall.com to see what we're talking about. They should also follow you because you're beyond a triple threat. I mean, you are so multifaceted. It's almost dangerous. So Robert, thank you so much for speaking with me.
Okay, thank you very much.